You don't need to be flexible to practice endurance yoga, and you don't even need a lot of time. No more excuses. The 15-minute practice is now available and easy to incorporate into your daily routine. To introduce you to the 15-minute practice, I've included a 15-minute warm-up and cool-down into this program. The 15-minute practice is a condensed form of endurance yoga, and I created this shortened version to accommodate the busy schedules of the athletes that I work with. The warm-up and cool-down can be incorporated into your daily training regimen or used when time constraints are an issue. We're going to begin today's warm-up in downward facing dog. So roll forward onto your mat, onto your hands and knees. We're going to roll those toes under and lift your hips right up to the sky, pushing back into the soles of the feet. We've been here before. Body's in the shape of a V. You're pushing into the soles of the feet with the palms of the hands. This is an active pose. So we're actively moving here. Just starting to drop the chest a little bit closer toward the thighs. And maybe even wagging the tail so we can bend one knee and then the other, just kind of settling in for a couple of breaths. Let's move right back into neutral and lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. So that toe is high. We even bend and spiral the inner thigh open, creating some space. We're going to drop it to a side angle on our right knee. Drop that right knee in the center of the mat, lining up your body and swimming your left arm up and over your left ear. Continue to reach for the front of the room as you push away with that left foot. You can hang out right there or lift that left leg up, bending your left knee and actually reaching for that left foot or ankle. Just opening up those hip flexors a little bit more. Release that toe, and let's come right back into downward facing dog. As we push back a little further, we're going to drop our head down, and now let that left leg float up to the sky. Take it so high that the head drops down. We're pushing into that right heel. Bend and spiral the inner thigh, and drop it over into side angle. Left knee drops in the center of the mat. We're swimming our right arm over. We're releasing and lengthening our side body. Go ahead and lift up that side leg if that's your modification. Bend your knee and reach back, opening up that front side. Good, let's release, roll right back into downward facing dog. Just sink back once again. Drop your head. Begin to pedal the feet from side to side. Take a couple breaths here, and we're going to start to create some heat with our warm-ups. Just a couple of yoga walks. Just come back to neutral. Lift your right leg all the way once again to the sky. Spiral it open. And let's touch our left elbow. Just squeeze forward without dragging that knee. Lift your right leg to the sky. And switch sides. Right knee, right elbow. Lift it up. And step it right through into that warrior pose. Arms lift over your head. Hands come down. We snap it back and lower. Good, taking it low, that low push-up, shoulders up, hips rise. Left leg floats right up, sink it high. Good, spiral it open and cross over without dragging that leg. Lift it to the sky and switch sides. Good, lift it once again really high and step it right through. Warrior one, arms over your head. Beautiful, take those hands down, step it back and lower. Chaturanga, shoulders up and hips rise. We're gonna move a little quicker, lifting that right leg and then crossing that midsection, squeeze. Good, take it high and switch sides. Lifting and step it through, warrior one. Good, arms rise, take the hands down and step it back, lowering all the way down. Shoulders come up, hips rise. Left leg now floating to the sky. You're starting to feel warm, aren't you? Cross that midsection and lift your legs. Good, switching sides and lift. Good, step it right through, warrior one. Arms over your head. Hands down, step back and lower. Good, shoulders lift and hips lift. Now starting with that right leg, take it high, cross it under. And we're just gonna move at our own pace. So lifting and moving at your own pace. Just a couple more rounds. And it's so important to continue to create this heat. This heat is the key to our endurance yoga practice. Creating that warm body Beginning to move in deep into those tight hips. So not only do we move in deep to the tight hips, but we start to really strengthen those notoriously weak spots as well. Strengthening our core, strengthening our upper body. You guys are doing great. This last round right here. So take yourself through one more and notice if you've started to hold your breath. And when we start to open our mouth, it's a sign of stress. So we want to keep the lips together. And we want to lengthen every inhale and complete every exhale. Good, last round, take it up. And really feel it as you cross into the obliques. We can feel those muscles that you're starting to fire up. That core that's starting to get warm. Good, this heat that's starting to build. Beautiful job, guys. Let's stay right into down dog when you move back toward your feet and settle in for just a couple of breaths. Now that the body's starting to warm up, we can start to move into those heels, the ankles, the feet. Our feet take so much abuse from all of the pounding, the running, even the walking, the shoes that we wear. So we're gonna just move in and stretch out those tiny little muscles and ligaments in the feet, in the ankles. You got it, beautiful. Now come onto your hands and knees. And then just drop your hips to the left as you swing your legs all the way around. We're gonna open our legs nice and wide. So the legs are wide. We're gonna place those hands right out in front, but sit up tall, super tall spine. Start to walk your hands out. So walking your hands out in front of you. Good. Dropping your nose down towards your mat. Once you're in this pose, then start to drop a little bit more. Notice the intense opening here in the backside, in your hips, and those glutes. And make sure we're not bouncing, forcing, or jerking the body. Now, without lifting our head up, let's start to walk our hands over to our left knee. We're going to begin to bring our nose toward the left knee. One hand is on the outside of your left foot. The other hand is on the inside. Just a different stretch here. Go ahead and take another breath or two. And then without lifting your head, let's start to walk those hands all the way to that right knee. So we're walking them over to that right knee. One hand on the outside of that right foot, the other on the inside. The nose is just dropping in. Good, opening, releasing that side body. Good, take another breath or two. Notice if you're still breathing through the nose. You're not holding your breath. And then walk it right back out to center. Good, and drop your nose for another 2 breaths. Your fingertips may even be reaching a little bit further toward the front of the mat. And when you're ready, begin to walk those hands right back. So slowly walking your hands back as you lift up your head. Guys, bring those thighs right back together. And then come on to your yoga squat. So we're gonna bend our knees. We're just gonna sink into the yoga squat. Hands are right here at the center of the heart, and we're pushing those knees away with our elbows. So you sink in deeper. Just place your hands onto the mat or the ground and straighten your legs, standing forward fold. Nose is dropping down. We're elongating, stretching out that body. Good. Keeping the hands firmly onto the mat. Let's begin to heel to those legs out a little wider. Just not into a super wide stance, but past your mat. So let's wiggle them out. Good. And start to bend your right knee. So we're keeping our head up, our chest up. We're just sinking into that right knee. You got it. Head is still lifting. Our gaze is still lifting. And now back to center. Good. Over to the left. Sink in, keeping the gaze to the sky. Good. Come on back to center. And over to the right. Stretch in. Come on back to center and to the left. Just a couple more times. So side to side, we're starting to warm up and release those hips. Just a couple more times, sinking in. One more round. Over to the right and over to the left. Next time you're in center, let's hang out right here. Walk your hands a little bit further back. And now lift up your nose for just one breath. And exhale, drop it in. Top of the head is dropping down toward your mat. Now, if you're super flexible like a diva, your head may even be touching the mat, but it doesn't matter, it's not necessary. Just remember that everyone's body is gonna be different in every pose. And every time you come to the mat, the body is gonna be different. So just because you could touch your nose to your knee yesterday doesn't necessarily mean that that's where you should be today. Good, let's start to lift our head up and actually walk your hands to the top of the mat. Plank pose. Guys, the body is long and strong. You're still breathing. Your bum's not way up in the air, but those hips aren't dropping down either. Still breathing, strong and steady. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Let's come on to those forearms, right forearm and left forearm. This is plank pose on the forearms. Now, if it's too much for your back, you can always drop down to your knees. Hanging here, even if the body starts to tremble or shake. Good, dolphin pose, lift your hips to the sky, pushing your head down. Good. Inhale, let's shift forward, squeeze, and then lift. You got it, shift forward, squeeze, and lift. A few more times, warming up those shoulders. Good, dropping and lifting. Strengthening that core, dropping a little lower, good, lifting. Just a couple more times, good, dropping into and lifting the hips. One more, drop and lift. Next time you come into that plank right here, hang out. Let's come onto the right palm, left palm, top of your push-up. And Chaturanga Dandasana, lower, let your shoulders rise. Hips come to the sky as you push into the soles of the feet. And make some adjustments. Sometimes those subtle adjustments make all the difference. If this is too much on your wrist, then you can walk your hands a little closer to your feet. You may even want to widen the stance of your feet, moving the chest closer to the thighs. Bend your right knee and just kind of sink into that left hip and switch sides. We're opening up again, the hips, the heels. Let's move right back to center. And then walk your hands all the way back to your feet, standing forward fold. Placing your hands down onto the mat. If you can't quite reach, that's okay. You can just let those hands dangle. Notice if you're holding your head up here. Release your neck, release your head. We're using the weight of our entire upper body to decompress our spine. So everything we do, we're walking, we're running, we're sitting, is compressing our spine. Our yoga practice helps to elongate and release the spine. Just take a couple more breaths and keeping the left hand on the mat, let's just lift our right arm, bend your left knee and spiral your spine open. Continue to open it up. Good, switch sides. Take that right hand down and switch. Left arm rolls, we twist. And back down. One more time. Take it up and reach even further as you move it into the spine. Take it down and switch sides. Left arm lifts. Back down. And now roll it to standing one vertebrae at a time. We're gonna lift slowly. We're gonna reach our fingertips even further as you take your gaze to the sky. Grab that left wrist with your right hand, take it up and over. Just open that side body. Take it up and switch sides. Right arm over right ear. Good, we lift. And now we place those hands to our heart center as we close our practice, ready to go. Namaste.